Hey, I'm Sahil. I'm the founder of Solari. Here's a quick demo on how to use our notebook tool to build fully functional AI agents complete with tool use without needing to code at all. And to do that, we're going to build a new agent together. But before we do that, let's just familiarize ourselves with the tool. Here is our notebook. And at the bottom, you can see this tools panel. And if I click that open, you'll see a bunch of these blocks. And each of these blocks are different tools and functionality that I can give to my agent. And you can think of these as really the building blocks of building agents. These blocks can do everything from searching the web, scraping websites, even running code. But the most basic block, I think, is the agent block. This basically takes an input and runs it by an LLM. You can think of the agent block as doing anything that you might ask ChatGPT for. So answer this question, read this document and summarize it, and even analyze a piece of data. You'll also see this notion of setting output as variables. And what this does is it lets me stitch blocks together by setting the output of one block as the input of another. For example, you might have one agent block read a document, summarize it, and then you might have the summary saved as a variable. And then you might pass that variable into a contact block, which sends that summary to yourself or an interested group in your team. Another example is you could have an agent block read a file and look for any instances of keywords. Then you might save those keywords as a variable and run it through a search agent to perform a search on those variables and see what's out there on the internet. If that feels confusing now, don't worry. You'll see variables in action when we build our agent next. Great. So now let's build our sales agent. This agent is going to accept a raw CSV of sales data. It's going to analyze it and produce a beautiful formatted spreadsheet complete with tables and charts showcasing the data. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this file into my notebook, and I'm going to make it available to all of my other agents via the nickname sales data. And what this does is it lets me bring in this source into any agents that I may have or future agents that I may build. So now if we go into agents, we can make our new agent. I'm going to call this sales analyst. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in an agent block. And I'm going to say to the agent block, read sales data and give me the average units and dollars sold for each product. So what this does is it tells the agent, hey, make sure that you're using this source to respond to my question. And the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set the output of this analysis as a variable because I know that I'm going to want to use it later. I'm going to call it sales data summary. I'm going to save it, copy it to my clipboard, and I'm going to set the output of that block as sales data summary. So now if I run that, it's going to read the sales data file, it's going to read the analysis I've asked it to do, and it's going to return with a response. So here it is. Here's the response for the analysis. I noticed that it's a bit more verbose than I might like, so I'm going to add respond with a concise, comma separated table. I'm going to save that. So next, how can I take this forward? You'll remember that we saved the output of this as sales data summary. I'm going to make a new block, and it's going to receive the analysis that the first block does and produce a concise summary. So I'm going to say use sales data summary and create a 1 to 2 sentence description, concisely summarizing the data. And because I might want to use this later, I'm going to make a variable for this as well called written summary. And I'm going to set the output as written summary. So now if I run the whole block, it's going to run this block first, perform the analysis as I've told it to, this time making the data more concise, save the output as sales data summary, pass that to the second block, which is going to read the output and produce our nice summary. So let's run that and see how it works. So here is the concise analysis, you can see that it's read the new prompt and produced a more concise table. And here the agent has read the summary and produced a 1 to 2 sentence description that we're saving as written summary. Great. So now let's use both of these to make our table. I'm going to bring in the Excel agent. It's hiding over here. And I'm going to describe the kind of file that I want. I'm going to say make a spreadsheet summarizing sales data, format tables with bold headers, and use Helvetica font. Make a table showcasing, and I'm going to use this variable. Also make a bar chart with sales data summary, and make written summary the title. So here is our complete agent. Agent 1 takes the sales data source, analyzes it, and produces a response, and saves it as sales data summary. Block 2 takes sales data summary and produces a 1 to 2 sentence description summarizing the data, and saves the output as written summary. And the final agent takes the sales data summary variable and the written summary variable and produces a spreadsheet showcasing all of our data. So let's run this agent to see what we get. Great, and you can see that the file has been downloaded on my computer and I can save it as output. And if we open that up, it looks exactly as I wanted. So that is a quick agent we made in just 2 minutes. I could extend this by adding additional blocks. I could send a contact block in that sends me an email with the summary or sends an interested group of my team members the summary. I could use the code block to hit an endpoint or update an Airtable via make.com. I'll let you play around with those, but we'll leave this agent here for now. Enjoy playing around with the notebook tool.